COVID, biking was a lot of things for people to do.
Yep.
And it created such a huge demand that we're still backlogged on parts everywhere.
Yep.
But what we don't want to see is just people buying that bike and then just dropping it.
Right.
Once things get back to normal. Cycling, it doesn't matter who you are, it's just a fun release, it's exercise, gets you out into nature, and it's a fun bonding activity. So some of the questions I wanted to ask you was, what do you think draws bikers to the industry now?
Yeah, well, we have a unique, so yeah, like you had mentioned, people, like the influx of people buying bikes and going out, and are they going to stick with it? It's not what we've experienced at Bowhead, because what we've come out and offered really started at the beginning of COVID. And so the people who get our bikes have been like, you know, it didn't dawn on them that they wanted to ride a bike at the beginning of COVID. These are people, some of these people have been waiting to ride a bike in the capacity that this allows them to for like 20 years. So like our customers are really just like getting to experience the outdoors that they've either, you know, forgotten or they remember, or like that they've been dreaming about. So it's a very different experience. It's just like it's like COVID didn't happen in their world because they finally got a piece of equipment that would take them outside.
As someone who rides an e-bike, I get crapped on by some of those people that are just like, you're not a purist, you shouldn't be on the hill with us. Whereas I'm saying it's getting me out on the hill, it's getting me to be involved in trail societies. I put money into the trail society, so I improve the trails, and you have more people coming. It's the same thing with a bike like this, right?
Yeah.
It opens it up for everyone to be able to ride.
Yeah, it's interesting because we have like an all-electric version, and now we have like a Bosch pedal assist version. And I have the same feelings as you about that it's just getting people out to ride. It's having a motor or pedaling, it's semantics. You're both outside, and so long as you respect the rules and the nature and the people, it shouldn't matter how you're moving through that wilderness. So we really push respect and following regulations to our riders and just being part of the community. And when they do that and they educate the other people that may not understand what they're doing, then those people flip and are now huge advocates for it.
Oh, exactly. I've seen Martin ride. He puts his YouTube videos up. I've seen him at Whistler with it, and these bikes are really capable.
It's crazy. Yeah, we've got we don't usually have it, but at this show we made like a 1-second reel video, because I think lots of people don't understand just how capable they are. We've got like younger people like doing like 8-foot drops at bike parks, but then on the other hand we've got like people who just take their dogs for a walk. It's where it's so new, it's as if this is the one bike for everybody. And now we've got the RX, the crank bike, so we are starting to diversify and grow the product line and grow the experiences. So like Martin gets his crank bike next week, and he's like over the moon. He's so excited because it is more, in some ways the all-electric is like, could be more compared to a motorbike in a way, and then the crank is definitely a bike feel.
Exactly. I'm sure we'll see the video come out on GMBN, and
soon
Martin will have his big unveiling to it. So when you were making these bikes, clearly you were making them for you and for others that weren't able to bike like on traditional bikes. How did the design come out? Like, did you see like a recumbent bike and that's the idea, get as low to the ground as you can?
No, it's more so like they're sort of showing it over there. The crux of what our bike does is the leaning and articulating. So it was born out of my frustration. I'm a Calgarian. Oh, no, I'm just in the middle of a little interview.
It's no problem.
If you ride, you grow.
No.
Fellow Calgarian to a fellow Calgarian.
Yeah, so it was, our trails are, skinny and rocky and off camber. It's not like Slick Rock where it's big and wide.
Yeah, like Beaumont is just off on the side.
So so it was just constantly tipping. So it wasn't about suspension or braking or really like anything performance related that way. It was all about how do you traverse a side slope. And so there's nothing else out there that does this that I'm aware of. And you have to be able to traverse that side slope while going straight or turning left or right. So it's not a leaning and steering thing. So it was really just born of like iteration and iteration and iteration of trial and error to get to this eureka moment that created this articulating framework. And then working that into the other products as our core. So now, like with the crank bike, you're cranking, you're steering, and you're leaning, all while your hands are still on the same pedal.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the transmission of that power is pretty complicated.
That would be. Yeah, I'm just. I'd fall.
You should do it. We've got the Watts Up challenge over there, so we do like a ramp test.
So specifically about Alberta biking, because you're still biking in Alberta.
Yep.
What's your favorite trail?
It's funny because with the Reach, I always go to Moose because I'm embraced there, and it's more of a downhill
We all love
bike.
Moose. I love my Numa climbs.
Yeah, and then, but like honestly, we just came out with the RX at the end of last season, so I'd only done like Ranger Summit, Merlin View. But I'm really excited to explore sort of some of the longer rides in West Bragg on the RX.
Yeah.
So I mean, West Bragg and Bragg Creek is my zone just from being here. I grew up in Fish Creek, like riding the trails in Fish Creek, and it's funny like having a 25-year gap, how I used to know that area, and now I'm like, there's like this 50 yards of trail that was amazing. It's like you really got these tiny segments all around it.
Well, Fish,